All right, welcome everyone to the breakdown for the NXL World Cup 2025. So definitely a interesting one to say the least. There's a lot of stuff going on. This one, we are just going to be going in the snake side, so make sure that you're watching the other footage, so that way you can see the middle as well as the Dorito side. So we'll go through a bunch of stuff with that. But I wanted to just go through, and again, this is my first impressions. This isn't necessarily going to always 100% be the case, but at least will give you something to be able to look at when you get out to the field. So what we're going to do, and let me go up so this way I can kind of explain a little bit more, is the snake side, we are literally just going to do the can, the Aztec, the corner, and all the way down the snake. All of this here, we're going to consider the middle. So when we get into that, you'll need to watch that for the middle breakdown. And then for the Dorito side, we'll do the brick, the Aztec, and then of course the Doritos. So the center, back center here, it's going to be a little bit of a mix of both, just because, well, you're going to have to shoot out of one side. So the snake side is what we're going to focus on in this one. Again, make sure that you guys are watching for the other breakdowns of the middle as well as the Dorito side. So all that being said, let's look at this this snake side. So to me already, when I was looking at it, it really seems like the snake is going to be kind of the first punch. I think you're going to see a lot of runs off the break into the snake, just because it's really hard to shoot this guy. I'm going up here just so that way we can kind of see more of a normal view, but I'm sorry, a higher view, because your normal view here, yeah, you can shoot kind of a blind, but I don't know where exactly that paint's going to be dropping to. And also because of the fact that you're shooting into, let's say you're shooting over the top of this brick here, you're shooting into kind of a dead zone. So if they take like an inside route or take the deep route, it's going to be harder to pick up on that kind of stuff. So this back center is maybe more of a delay, just to kind of put paint out there. If you see someone is going out and wants to try to take the let's say the snake corner, you have this little sliver right here. People are definitely going to be running and gunning out back at this guy. But it doesn't really, I don't know if I like this back center a whole lot, other than just to get some paint and then get out of there. It doesn't seem like you can really do anything from here to help the snake at all. They can get into the middle. So once they're past here and come up, you can't really see where they're going. Yeah, you can shoot into this little crevice right here, but that's not really doing a whole lot. And then we also have in here some drop shots, but by the time they're here, they can just wrap around and they have you pretty easily. So I don't know that I really like this back center for more than just a couple seconds, just to throw some paint this way and hope that you can land it properly. The good thing is that you can look and see the other team, how they're setting up. So if they look like they're setting up to go and take kind of like a deep route, you can at least shoot the deeper shot. If you're seeing that they're setting up for more of a shallow route, I don't know how far you guys are gonna have to test this out, but I don't know how far it's gonna be, or sorry, how shallow it's gonna drop. If it does drop into this zone here, then it'll at least be something beneficial, and then you can shoot the deep shot for sure. But I'm curious as to where it drops, and it might actually be about here. So if someone is running this inside route, you have a chance of being able to get that shot, but it's gonna be hard to see, where they're even going. They could even kind of do like a sort of like a in and out type thing, or go up and then go in front of this Aztec. I don't know. There's a lot of options here. So it's going to be tough to shoot this snake guy off the break. So let's move out to our can here, and I need to back up a little bit. And for this can, you do have coming out, so the back center would be able to drop paint through here, but it's so quick of a shot that unless you're floating here, I don't really see a reason that they're going to it's going to be tough to be able to shoot this guy unless they're floating, in which case then you can definitely shoot through here. And the reason why I'm saying someone might float is this gap right here. So because of the fact that I can shoot through here from this this no man's land in this zone, it might be an option that I can maybe get this kill cross field, and the fact that, let me move back here, that I can pretty much do it right off the box. So if I go, yeah, like right off the box, I can shoot right into that gap right there. So this might actually be something pretty solid, especially if this person isn't setting up to shoot straight back up the gut. It could be an option, and then you dive out to maybe get the shot cross field. Possibility, just something to look at. I feel like the brick is going to have a lot of the same shot coming back this way, so you just want to be mindful of that. So as we fill out, I don't see that this can is going to be helpful at all for the Dorito side. You can see there is nothing you can do. Short of shooting this gap, if someone is running between here, you can't do anything to help this this Dorito side. So this can is not going to be someone that's shooting cross more than a couple seconds off the break, and then they're going to be coming here to come heads up. Now, something that does look like it's possible, and let me... Oh, this is going to be kind of sketchy here. You're going to have to thread the needle to shoot through here. The issue is that they can shoot back heads up. So I don't know that I like how the can, you really aren't able to shoot. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to shoot the head of the snake too easily, because if you hang out too far, your mirror is going to be able to shoot back heads up. Now, what this could be good for is shooting back heads up and then looking to see, you know, did they try to go across into the wing? There might be, possibly. Let me get back to here. There might be a drop shot over the top here that drops into this outer section of the snake one. So if that is there, then this can is 100% great to do that for, because it's going to slow that guy down a lot. And also, it looks like, ooh, this could be a good one. So from that can, if you, so I'm just going to have it from here, I think you'd be able to bounce it off into the outside there with that that little wedge. So that could definitely be a possibility, especially if you're coming out and you're trying to, let me go back here, and you're trying to just put pressure on the snake side. This can might not be bad to shoot that overslide. It's just completely blind. That's the only thing. And that bounce is, it might go a little bit too high, but it's a possibility. But I'm not seeing a whole lot here for this can to do. Definitely seems like the NXL is trying to push people out of the middle, or out of the back center at least. Let's go out to the snake corner, and then we'll look at this this Aztec, and then get into the snake. So as I'm going out, it looks like you're relatively safe, other than the can, and this is something that you can see a lot better here, has the shot over the top into you here. So someone could be trying to read the paint and just shoot real quick on the cross, or shoot heads up, and then they're able to shoot into this zone. So if they shoot through here, because of it being more of a back line, unless you're diving in low, they have a chance of being able to get that kill over the top of that wedge. So that's definitely something to just be mindful of as you're filling out to this snake corner. I don't know if I like this corner, though. That's the only thing. Because once I'm here, let's turn a little bit. Okay, this I take back a little bit what I said. I feel like there's another bunker that would do this better. You do have eyes this way to help stop the Dorito side, but they're already way down the Dorito side by this point. So at least you could have eyes that way. What I was saying I don't like is this. And I'll go up so it's a little bit easier to see. You see how the wedges are outset? So someone can come in here and crawl and go all the way. Actually, they could even go all the way to your side, basically, and unless they show a lot through here, they can get to your side unseen. So this is not a bunker that you're going to get to help with getting your snake down the field. That being said, if they haven't gone wider than this Aztec or this can, coming here could be real solid, because then you can just wrap the whole time. It doesn't seem like there might be a bounce that they can shoot off of this. That's going to be really tough. But the fact that you can hold them in this Aztec and in the can and stop them from going out wide and matching your snake is going to be really, really helpful. And you're going to be able to sit there and then roll back to be able to shoot if they do try to make that move. You're either going to get the shot, or at least you're going to see them make that move, and then you can warn your snake player that, hey, you have someone with you. So definitely definitely, that would be something I would say to get here for, is that they didn't get wide and you're trying to trap them here. It is not going to be to help your snake get down the snake. This is useless. Look how useless this is. They can just zigzag through here and you're never going to have any sort of idea what it is that they're doing. So let's move into this Aztec and see if it's something that's worth stopping for. And I'm looking at the Dorito side as well. Yeah, this can coming up would be able to shoot through this gap, but you just need to move over a couple steps and you're safe. So I'm not really worried about that guy too much. Back center is useless to shoot this unless you're super, super high over the top. It might drop about here, is my guess, like in this zone. So if you're diving low, I think you should be okay, especially if you're going in this front section to go into that Aztec. If I'm moving into the Dorito side, or shooting at the Dorito side, I have this gap as well. The snake corner has it also. There's other bunkers that can do this better, but at least this guy would be able to sort of assist with that. Now, this bunker to support the snake is another pretty useless one. You can't shoot into anything. The only thing you can do is stop them from coming into your snake too, which at that point, man, you're in a really bad spot if they're in your snake 3. So the fact that they can come around and do that is definitely a problem. So I don't know that this is the guy. Now, to use this as a delay to maybe shoot heads up, possibly, but I kind of feel like getting right into the snake is going to be something that is useful. Now, something I do see that could be helpful is if you have someone in the snake one, just like we saw from that can, they might be able to shoot that blind into that zone and maybe shoot the bounce. You might be able to shoot over the top of this wedge back into that guy. The other thing that's a possibility, and this is a real big if, by the way, you're going to have to step out. So this is where it gets kind of sketchy. You're going to have to step out a little bit, but it looks like, let me get a different color so it's a little bit easier to see. It looks like there, going into that can is a possibility. That's not something I would say is 100%. Again, remember, with all of these, it's just my first impressions, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is definitely something that maybe could be used. I feel like the middle is going to be a lot more helpful for the snake, but let's move into the snake. So it looks actually like from this angle that the can is able to shoot into this section here. So at least, so maybe this can isn't the worst. The can is able to shoot blind. It's just that the issue is that you don't know. So maybe you would come to the can to shoot into this section and then into here to try to drop it over the top, and then maybe try to bounce it off there. But if you haven't seen the snake guy come out, I don't know if it's worth just continuing to pound through there. But it looks like that can might have the best option to shoot the snake off the break, because if they slide around and show a little bit too much, this can is able to, it looks like, can kind of skim over the top and drop it in here. Now, if they overslide, I think you'd have to do it really, really perfectly, not perfectly. But yeah, that can maybe is really the biggest threat for our snake. But once you're in here, let's look at this shot. Yeah, I think so. This blind, as we're looking at it from the snake angle, I think it is going to be able to drop here, but it's going to be higher. So you can see here, if I back up, so it's a little bit easier, they have this channel, so right through here. It's not 100% kill, but I think it's the best shot that you're going to have, at least on this snake side, to shoot the snake off the break. But as we come into the snake, let's see. Okay, so we'll get into the middle more, but this can looks pretty good to be able to help slow this snake side down a little bit. And what if we move out to this snake too? Yeah, the snake 2, it looks more like a kind of transition type bunker. Yeah, you can shoot down the wire, but they can take the inside route. So it's not one that you're going to get to really be able to help support your guy down the wire. So at least you could maybe do that to help. Actually, no, because they can still, yeah, they can still make the move inside, and isn't the best. If you try to play the wrap, yeah, you can shoot some gaps here, but I wouldn't send someone here to go and do that job. And then this guy, yeah, this is not the best spot, but what if we move and get up into the snake 3? Okay, so snake 3 gets a lot better, so you can kind of catch some of, let me move this a little bit more. So you can catch a little bit of the packs of these Doritos, and there might actually be, and I'll go up so it's, again, a little bit easier for you guys to see. There might be from here off there into the Dorito. If it's not there, there might be one into this wedge, possibly. Yeah, it would be one to definitely try. The issue is that when you get in here, you can't see them make the move to the outside. So if you miss this shot, you have to probably just assume that they either moved or someone else needs to pick up that job, just because you have no idea what they did. Let's see if we move to... I don't see anyone getting to this side, but it's paintball, so let's hop over and look, because you never know. There's some weird paintball players, and sometimes things work better than you think they would. Yeah, I don't know if the shot is any better to be able to... I mean, the only thing here is that you can shoot the outside of the Dorito if they're trying to make that move, but maybe catch this wedge player, but I kind of feel like you should just... Well, if I can move back. I feel like if you would just go over to here, you're going to have the same shot. Yeah, it's actually better. So coming here and then shooting through, you have a lot of people. So this might be the better spot in the snake. Of course, getting to their side is the best, but this one is pretty dangerous. So anyone that is playing the snake, you need to be careful of the middle guy, because it looks like they're able to play the outside. And if someone is smart and they're looking this way, they can wait for you to pop up. You would have the surprise on them, but this snake 3, sorry, their snake 3, so snake 4 is really, really solid. This is a really good bunker. And then playing the outside and wrapping, yeah, you're gonna be able to start getting some more kills. There might be possibly a bounce off this can into there. I think it's too far back. Maybe off the Aztec into the back center. But if they're stuck in the back center, you're gonna kind of have a field day. So you have the top, you have the side, you have the inside, and then you have this. Like, you have so many spots you can come out of. They might be able to bounce it off here into you, but that's when you just move to this outside, and then you're completely fine from it. So let's look here and just see how good is it once you get to there. Yeah, this is when you're gonna just start wrecking people. So you have a lot of shots getting into their side, and then once you wrap, you have a lot more. And then you could even crawl to their Aztec, and that's going to be really solid. So yeah, I think what you're going to see a lot of is people going snake off the break and then immediately trying to come through and maybe being careful of either baiting the person to come through this way and wanting them to try to come around so that they can get the shot, or just going straight into their snake 3 or the snake 4. But you need to be mindful of this shot from the can. I think if you can practice this shot, it might be a little bit high, but at least if it's something that you can put there just to put a thorn in their side and make them really have to play tight, shooting over the top here and then shooting this outside of the nub. It's going to force them to have to really hug this, or if you bounce it off here, I think it might skip in. So it's just something to consider. But that's my first impressions of the snake side. Guys, make sure that you're looking at the Dorito in the middle, even if you don't play those, just because you never know. You want to know their shots coming back at you, but also it's just smart to do that anyway. So tell me what you guys think about the snake side here. I think you're going to see a lot of aggression in here, a lot of snake off the break, and yeah, it's going to be kind of a bloodbath over here, I think. But tell me what you think in the comments down below. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.